I met Marshall, but yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys are up to.
Nobody wants to hear my intro.
All right, guys, I think we're live. Yep, we're here.
Snap.
Guys, we're here
live.
on the first ever Millennial Skills Masterstream, and this might be the first ever thing of its kind, because we've had masterminds before where we've hopped on and Luis and a couple of entrepreneurs will chat, and we'll literally be like this Zoom call where we'll discuss and throw back questions back and forth and stuff. But I was like, why not stream it, and why not get some people in on this, because how amazing, to be a fly on the wall with all these different people. So I'm excited.
No doubt, dude.
So thank you guys for being here. We're going to kind of go around the horn. I'm going to start up at the top, and then we're just kind of go around and have you guys introduce yourself, because some of you guys know, some of you guys are familiar. And what's great about the online community, it's very, very small, but there's also some new people who might be, who obviously our audiences are going to be a little bit different. So in the top left is Mr. Luis Alvarado. He's actually the host of the Digital Accelerator group on Facebook. And I love Luis because I had no idea that he was still in school all last year. So built an online agency, built an online community all while graduating. And I just talked to him, and he's going out with one of his mentors to the Bahamas in a couple of days. So like living the dream right there. But Luis, fill us in a little, man, on kind of what you do and kind of catch us up on what you got going on.
Yeah, guys. So what's up, everybody? My name is Luis Alvarado. And for the past 5 years, I've been going to college here in Florida, where I'm at right now. And started off with biomedical sciences and engineering. That was my major. In math. Along my journey in college, entrepreneurship came in the picture. And then I started learning about offline business, but I knew that I was always like really, really good online when it came to stuff, because I'm also, aside from doing all this engineering stuff, I'm also a professional dancing choreographer. So I was always active on social media, and that was like a way to push my art. So I kind of already had like a handle with social media. And then that's when I went into the field of like digital marketing and knew that I could help other businesses doing what I already was doing for myself and monetize that. So I started off with my agency while being in school. I had like a couple semesters left, and it was tough. It was very, very tough to like balance everything. But then I just graduating in December, and the week of graduation, throughout the year, like just learning experience with my agency and helping other digital entrepreneurs and influencers with their overall marketing strategies, people that just want to sell anything online. And so I launched one of my programs, which I know you guys are familiar with, chatbots. I launched that to my audience, and it did super, super well the first week. Literally the week of my graduation, I was able to make 5 figures with that program. And then the following month, which is January, at the beginning of the month, I launched a program with my mentor, helping people who own agencies acquire more clients, because that's like people are always like, hey, where can I get more clients? And we had so many experiences with we put a program together, and that also did 5 figures in just that. Super mind-blowing. And every single time that I was doing or selling some stuff online, helping more people, because we would get so many questions, a bunch of same questions, and not just being able to do that, and not focus on helping people with their overall marketing strategy, whether they want to use funnels, whether they want to use chatbots, and all of that in a nutshell. And that's where I'm at right now. It feels amazing to have graduated and not gone to the and then being able to hang out with all these amazing individuals, I haven't who I still learn a lot from. And that's a little bit about me.
I'm not going to invite you on the next one, dude. You just make me feel bad, because I'm like, you did all that while you're in school. I'm like, fucking A, I'm so bummed.
You guys
That's killer, dude. I love it. Marshall's up next, and Marshall is someone who is one of the the premier live branding experts. And I can say that because he's been so great about really finding a place where he can provide a lot of value. And I always say this, I introduced him this way back at our conference in December because both him and Hannah spoke there. But there was this guy who right around the beginning of last year just started popping up in my feed every single day. This guy's going live. This guy's going live. And I thought I went live a lot. And I'm like, this fucker's trying to compete. And eventually I realized that there's no way that I could compete with Marshall because this guy goes live multiple times a day and is really helping people to utilize that, that platform to build their business. So Marshall, thanks for coming on, dude. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, what you got going on too, and a little bit about how you
100%. I appreciate being here, to be here with such high level entrepreneurs and executors and action takers like all of you on this panel. It's actually a true honor. It's absurd to me that this is my job now. I get to one of my friends hits me up and like, hey, yo, can you do a live stream with us on Wednesday? I'm like, yeah, I can. One, because I have the means to, and two, because this is what I do for work now. And really what I do and what my live brand is about, Marshall Live, is that honestly, you guys, I've hacked life. It's a life hack. And I think what people don't understand right now, and for anybody that's watching this, whether you guys are watching live, if you guys are coming back and watching on a replay, before you guys give us a like, give us a love. We love seeing those hearts, man. We want to know you guys are making a difference. But the way I say about life hacking is that right now we have this little tiny window of opportunity in the world where a complete nobody with no following, no money, no network, no experience, you can literally simply just make live video. And if you do it every day consistently and you show up and you bring value, you can position yourself as an expert or authority offline. So people are like, oh, how do I become a speaker or a paid coach or this and that shit? Just go live, talk about what you want to talk about every day, show up powerfully and boldly. And before you know it, people offline are going to be like, oh, that dude's an expert in so-and-so, or that girl's the best dating coach I know, or X, Y, and Z. So really, for me, live video is simply life hacking 101 in 2018 and beyond. And that's what I hope to spread with my brand. And I get to be here with awesome people like you. So this is really, really great.
We did some switching while I was tagging some people. So guys, I don't know who's watching this right now, but if anybody's here, we'd love to just let us know if you're here, comment. And if you guys have any questions, we're going to start diving into that after you kind of find out about who's on the call or who's on the Masterstream today. But Hannah, it looks like you're up next. And you were someone who, congratulations, by the way, just paid off your student loans.
I know. And Luis was talking. I was like, if I had figured out 40 grand.
That is so exciting. So I'm going to tell your story a little bit and then you can share as much as you want. But I know you left your corporate job at the end of 2015, right?
16.
And so it's 2016. And over last year built a business where moved out to the West Coast and basically built your dream life, and we're able to kind of live life on your own terms and help people kind of do the same thing. And it resulted in you being able to pay off your student loans. That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Tell me about what you're working on.
Yeah. So also super excited to be here. And like Marshall said, to have the freedom to be talking to you at noon on a Wednesday. Honestly, I'm in my bed right now. I made it look like whatever, but I'm literally working from my bed because it's raining in San Francisco and I can do this. And yeah, I'm, similar, building on what other folks are saying, helping people take the tools and the resources and like Marshall or like Hector says, the hammers laying around us, pick them up and start, going to work in ways that we love, from the places that we love, doing what we love. So I'm a personal business coach that helps people build a personal business that they can do on their terms. It's not like a cookie cutter, here's what you're going to be a life coach as well, or you're going to have a membership site, but really diving in with mostly millennials to start building their dream life. And income is such an crucial piece to any dream coming true. So helping people monetize their passions.
This is work for us, kinda. But I looked this morning, I texted you guys this picture. I literally at 4:00 this morning was up and I'm like, all right, I can't sleep anymore. I got to get up. I'm so excited. And I just thought about what my day is it consists of, and the fact that it's by no means all rainbows and sunshine, but when you're able to step back and look at what work is for us, it's kind of incredible.
Dream life is real life. I can't say it.
It is. Nahal, bring us home. And Nahal, I'm personally excited because this is the first time we're getting to connect live. And I actually saw Nahal interview about building an agency and how he was scaling his business. And immediately I was like, this guy gets it. This guy gets it at a different level, because not only was he executing it, but then he was also able to explain it in a way where it just made so much sense. And just from that one interview, we've had some big breakthroughs in our agency. And so I wanted to personally selfishly have you on, but also for the audience who's on. You just recently launched a podcast for Facebook ad buyers, right? Facebook media buyers, essentially.
Yeah.
So I know that you're going to be, putting out a lot more content in that regards as well. So catch us up on a little bit about kind of what you got going on. And if you want to, promote a little bit about the show too, now's an awesome time as well.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for having me on. Main thing was I was building my Facebook ads agency. In the beginning, it was an agency to sell whatever people would buy because I was trying to hustle and make money. And then after you get to a point where you're just in the grind and you're like, what am I actually doing here? So then I focused just on Facebook ads, went from charging $250 a month for retainers to now it's $25,000 to $5,000 a month, as well as doing partnership or like revenue share deals. And what ended up happening is I got to a point where I hit the income that I wanted to hit, and I'm like, I got really depressed because I knew I couldn't double or triple it the way that I wanted to. And so instead of being depressed, I did something about it. So I went to Costa Rica first. Right now, I'm based in Medellin, Colombia. And it's beautiful and sunny outside. And in Toronto, it's depressing and cold. So I'm, hashtag life decisions. So the main thing that I'm focusing on right now is how do I fire myself from a lot of different things that I'm doing and create the team around me in order for me to execute at a higher level. So what my primarily looks like at this point is how do I do high growth Facebook ads agency work. Then other thing that we're focusing on is done for you advertising as a white label, as well as a scalable Facebook ads agency for low ticket. Operates without me primarily, majority of it. And then the last thing is this ad tips for ad pros podcast. So if anyone's interested, that's just adtipsforadpros.com. And the purpose of that is for people who are interested in like firing themselves from media buying, or at least juggling so that they're just focusing on strategy and they have at least a junior media buyer around them. What that does is essentially for $500, $1,000 a month, depending on how you're about bringing that on, you're able to buy 20 to 40 hours of your week back, depending on how much media buying that you do. So for some businesses, 10 hours, for some entrepreneurs, that's 10 hours. For others, it's 20 plus. And it's just way less stressful. And the people that I've built around me, I was a solo agency guy. Now I have 5 full-time people plus 4 contractors that are helping me execute. And as soon as you get to one level of expertise or one level of your business and you graduate to the next, you're like, man, I can't believe how you even operated on that level. And then as soon as you get to this level, you're like, man, I can't believe that there's so much more. I thought this was going to be it. So now I have more perspective, I have a way better understanding of what the horizon looks like and what the next step is. And so I have my own project manager that just helps me on my personal project. There's a business that's operating and really investing in people so that they can make their own mistakes and grow and really develop themselves. That allows me to develop myself in that whole process. So that's where I'm at today.
Awesome.
You're on mute, man.
Stellar stuff. We have 36 people on live right now. So if you guys are here, I'd love to know where you guys are watching from and where you guys are tuning in from and what your guys' questions are, because I have zero agenda for this call. What we wanted to do is just come and hang out and just trying to chat about Jesus. I don't know. I figured if you got 5 people on a call like this, you couldn't help but kind of get some value. So I'm curious, and you guys can feel free to chime in wherever you guys feel is helpful and necessary. We might have lost Luis, so I might have to give him back some host privileges here in a second. But I'm curious, like when you guys are looking, oh, he's back. When you guys are looking forward to 2018, and even for like a lot of your audiences, like what are you guys thinking about? What are some big, whether it's trends or ideas or just things that people need to be paying attention to? What are some important things for marketers and entrepreneurs and business owners heading into 2018? Anyone?
I'll start. I'll take that one, I guess, is I have a lot of like technical marketers on here. And I think that most of you guys know that like, that's not my forte. I'm just not that guy. Like turn on the camera and I'm more like a game show host, I always say. So I think that one of the big trends like going forward, and of course that's what I'm talking about because it's like my niche, but is really storytelling. And what's going to win in 2018 and beyond, especially in marketing, is becoming a better storyteller. And that's across all platforms. Like whether you're standing on a stage, shaking a hand in the grocery line, or like you're advertising online, the things that used to be working, the kind of clickbait things, or even the contests, or just traditional like marketing timers, or like literally we could go on and on. But what's going to win is being able to be a really good storyteller, and brands that learn how to learn what their origin story is and how to make those connections going forward. I think that's going to be like one of the biggest things moving forward is that I've been telling people marketing and sales are dead, man. Like marketing and selling is so old school. Like that, I don't sell anybody ever. It's about creating a social selling ecosystem around a good, strong brand and having the brand pre-sell itself.
I totally agree. Can I build on that a little bit?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
So the storytelling and the relationship building. I mean, that's kind of an old school conversation to have, right? Like your network is your net worth, but I see us going way more into the real life situations and like doing more conferences like we were at, and having more, like we're so hungry for real connection. And I think that's why live is working so well, is because we used to sit behind and just like write a post, what's on my mind. And now we're engaging, we're having live conversations. And I think there's going to be more and more opportunities for people to meet up and, be it at retreats and in live events. So that's definitely something that I'm thinking about a lot and really excited about, because so many more people are mobile and engaged that IRL
100%.
where we're going. Yeah, where we're going.
A big part for me is I think the Facebook Messenger for your personal profile is so underrated. Majority of my business comes from there. And if you ignore that or think that Facebook is just cats and random viral videos, your feed is really messed up. And that's because that's a reflection of you at this point. Because your interest and your activity on Facebook is dictating what you're seeing. So my Facebook and a lot of other successful entrepreneurs and people who are really driven and have goals and are really focused, for their standpoint, their feed looks like this. It's like someone's having success, another case study, another success story. It's just positive or like super vulnerable, like people needing help and asking for help. And the whole environment and the whole feed is just an explosion of positivity that allows you to grow. And so if you're just that transactional person right now that asks for help for people and doesn't give anything back, or just checks in with people and says, hey man, what's up? What can I help you with? That has had such a priceless impact, not only on my business, but on my personal life, where the relationships that I've been building are not only just in person, which I highly recommend going to conferences and going to masterminds and shaking hands, kissing babies, doing all that stuff, but actually extending that. There's only so many people in where you are physically, no matter where. And if you're just undervaluing that connection, it's such a missed opportunity, no matter what your business, especially if you're in a service business. So that's the business I'm in, and it becomes very difficult. That becomes a challenge because there's an expectation of how you used to tell them, how you tell them now. The messenger. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're going in and out a little bit. I think it's just a great point, and what we realized, and I think but Marshall and Hannah and I realized that at our event a couple of weeks ago, was that we all walked into the room and it's like everybody felt like they had they'd known each other. Everybody felt like it was like a reunion in the sorts when everybody was meeting each other for the first time. So it's really these utilizing both. I think Gary Vee calls it the gateway drug. But Luis, I'm curious to hear what you were, where your head's at, and what are some things that you're kind of preaching to your audience about, how to make moves in 2018.
Yeah, I think everybody here, like we're all on the same wavelength when it comes to what we're preaching to our audiences, right? Because as we practice all this, like video and getting to meet, this is my first time meeting Hannah and Hall here online, right? But next time when we meet in person, it's gonna be like, oh snap, we've seen each other, we've already established that connection, and it's gonna be like we're like friends.
You've already been in my bed,
So like later tonight, like I'm actually gonna be meeting another friend that I've made. He's actually just like flying in, and we're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna go out for dinner. and then it's just, you look forward to it, you know. It's like the environment that you cannot create around yourself. For some people may not have the same, you know, those resources you created in your online environment. And like moving forward, like and how I was saying about the feed, that's extremely important, because if you don't have something present, like whether it be visual, audio, like anything that you're intaking, and in text, that thing really has a big shift in your mindset, in having in that inspiration of doing the things that you want to do every single day. And so that, all that like equates to, you know, how I mentioned earlier, like launching courses, and Marsha was doing the whole pre-sale. Like, I don't feel like I need to market. Like, you know, people are like, you know, what's your best strategy, you know, for selling this and this. And yeah, there's some, you know, technicals and principles to selling. But with the personal brand, with people seeing you very often, like on video, they like know so much about your life. You know, a stranger might be able to describe so many things about you. And they're like, wow, you know me so well, and we've never ever met. And that's when they're like, they trust you and they want to invest in you, and they're super pumped to just be around your energy. So just like you guys covered it, that's what it's been about for me. That's what I preach to people. That's what I share. And yeah, man, those are some of the thoughts moving forward in 2018. Video, chatbots, and making those relationships that we form online and bringing them into the offline world.
Hey, Hector.
I got you.
Okay, cool. And I just want to address Jennifer Lee. She mentioned that, you know, the what can I help you with, or how can I support you question is like, it was my $1 million question. But she's also asking, like, you know, there's so much technology, like we're talking about live.
Is it okay if you turn back on your camera? Is that possible?
I have to be host.
You are now.
Can you see me? Okay, there.
There we go.
Cool, thanks. So I think this question is great that she brought up. Like, there's so much technology, then things change so often. How do we like keep up, or what is our real priority?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what are some of the like mistakes that people make on social media, and like, you know, because I saw that, and I saw Jennifer's text, and Jeremy dropped a comment as well saying that how he's made a lot of friends, and I've also had a ton of negative experiences. So I'm curious, for you guys who are watching live, like, where's your guys' head at? What are you guys thinking about for 2018? And then, like, what are some of the challenges that you guys have had on social media? Because I feel like just avoiding the pitfalls can save you so much time, so much headache, so much everything, that a lot of times it's really just one course correction that having a mentor or having, you know, a coach or being, you know, part of a program or something like that can usually do. So what are some of the mistakes or some of the things that, like you said, can hold people back, you know, maybe like Jennifer mentioned, from fully adapting to this new
I can say that I the number one thing, like, I don't care what you do or who you are, like, the number one thing that's going to hold you back or keep you from getting the things that you want in life or in business is if you're doing it alone. Like, if you try to do it, go alone, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. If you think that you're Superman or Superwoman and that you have all the answers, or you come from, you know, a place of pride or ego where you're like, I don't really want to ask for help, I can do it for myself. Like, that's the most surefire way that you're going to lose, like 100%. So I think that what people need to realize in 2018 and going beyond is that social media, yeah, like, we came from a place where it's like cats and hats, but it's such a resource now. And the people who understand how to leverage this resource to make powerful connections are the people that are going to win. So for example, like, I'm on this live stream with you guys right now. I'm getting a chance to, you know, to build on relationships I already have. I got a chance to learn about Nahal and what he does. Like, that's a need that I need in my business right now. Like, I've built my entire brand organically through my personal page, direct messenger, and a free Facebook group. It's what I teach. And now I'm ready to scale my business. So it's like, that's a connection I make. And I think a lot of you guys can say that too. The power of a mastermind in and of itself is when I can get on a call with my group. I just have the super powerful mastermind this past weekend. And it's about like-minded people coming together and saying, and picking each other up and supporting each other. Networking is not about selling yourself and your products. It's about showing up and saying, hey, how can I help you? And then that law of reciprocity kicks in, and the other high-level achievers are going to go, oh, yeah, That's great. How can I help you?
Mhm.
And really, that would be my number one tip for anybody to succeed going forward is don't do it alone, man. Get coaching, get a program, get a mentor, join a mastermind, like do something. Because if you do it alone, you're going to fail.
Kevin says info overload is a big problem.
Yes. I
So
wanted to talk about that.
how do these two relate, Hannah? How do you like?
Totally.
Is
And
there-
this is, yes, because I see so many people because, here you guys are, you can eavesdrop on our conversation. You can go read my book. You can go watch Marshall every day. Yet if you aren't personally held accountable to be, finding the strategies that work for you, because really what the 2018 marketing strategy that's going to be successful for you is the one that you enjoy and can be consistent with. And it's really hard when you're bombarded with 1,000 other people's strategy every day and you're taking that in and trying to figure it out by yourself. So agree with Marshall, like find personal accountability. And, like if that's a community, a coach, a mentor, a program, don't do it alone. Get out of information gathering zone and into action. Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, a big part of my focus at this point, or what I'm actually investing time, money, and energy in, is just figuring out what I shouldn't be doing. And a lot of people, and I was, very guilty of this, which is I feel I'm Superman, right? Like you have so much energy, you're like, man, I can do anything. And when you have that mentality, it's really good because you're an optimist, but then it can come to a point where it's actually destructive. And so the reason it's destructive is because you start chasing two things at the same time, or many. And so now one of my mentors, what he's teaching me essentially is like, dude, do you actually know what the definition of a priority is? It's one. And so what is your priority? And you can't have more than one. And so at this point, I have one main business that I'm focusing on. In that business, there's just fulfillment that I'm focusing on, which is how do I systemize that in order for it to grow? Sales isn't necessarily the problem, it's the fulfillment. And from the fulfillment, what are the people that I need to bring in? So what that means for my business at this point is we have to hire another project manager. We already have one operations person, but there's another project manager that needs to come in. So the operations person can elevate another level, and then we have to bring in another video editor. And so what I know at this point is if that's legit my focus, it's fulfillment and then figuring out what are the gaps right now and then figuring out how do I fill in those gaps based off of the challenges. And I think from Hannah's point, it's so easy to look at all the other things people are doing and what's making them money. You don't really know. Just because people are posting doesn't mean that they're actually making money. So how is it that what they're doing is so easy to get distracted and have envy and feel jealousy? But in reality, if you actually take the time and figure out what you shouldn't be focusing on, then define what is that you should be focusing on, and then just executing that, that's so simple, but it's so hard. I dare you. One of the things that I have going on right now on my phone is every hour I have an alarm that reminds me to breathe. It sounds so simple. Dude, 5 breaths, deep breaths, just because I notice I've been stopping breathing throughout the day because I get stressed or I'm working or I'm not thinking about it. I made that commitment and it's so freaking hard. And so what is it that's going to stop you from actually getting what you want? And that first starts with what is it that you're not going to focus on?
Luis got some thoughts.
Yeah. So, with what you guys are saying, like for me, and I want to share with everybody at home, like a strategy that you can prevent from just having all this information, right? Because if you already have that one priority, you have just that one focus and you need to just focus on that one thing. If you always keep that in mind, no matter what information you're receiving, adapt that type of information that you have and only write stuff down in action steps in relation to what the information is, to how it's going to help you with the thing that you're already focusing on. So whatever other ideas that you may have, write them down on paper because you can work on them, further down the line. But if you're going into something just having that mentality of, okay, I'm focusing on this one thing, whether that be scaling your business a specific way, or if you just want to master, let's say, chatbots, and you want to just focus on one thing, like anywhere that you go, yeah, you're receiving really good information and you may want to try this and that because people suffer from this shiny object syndrome. But guess what? Once you are gathering all that info, you can kind of like turn it around and get creative in the sense of, okay, how can I take that strategy and then implement it to what I'm already doing and that one thing that I'm already focused on. And so that's something that I've been practicing, and something that allows me to really separate everything, because obviously, across my feed, hopping on these interviews, like even with you guys, everything that you guys are sharing, it may not be directly in correlation with my target goal at the moment, but guess what? Everything that you guys are saying, I can implement it somehow. I can be working on the back end or on the front end. I can always shift it to benefit where I eventually want to achieve. So, like that's basically putting it all in a nutshell. What you guys shared about priorities, about having that information overload.
And he just made a really good point that Sebastian's commenting on, like, stay in your zone of genius and do what you like. And like, I see so many people like, oh, now I need an email list, but I hate writing. It's like, then don't, like, that's not going to work. So stay and do what you are good at. Agree.
Yeah, I think that and I think I said this to Marshall. I don't know. See, the cool thing is that Marshall and I have actually like hung out multiple times, so it's not like in real life, which is great. So it's funny when you take that a little further. But I told him that it's really like the difference between the people on this call and the people who are hoping to one day be on a call like this is just implementing and executing. And it's like we all read the same books. We all listen to the same podcasts. We all follow the same people, and a certain select few people chose to implement and execute this stuff. And kind of what you were talking about is choosing and having a priority of what do I implement and execute? Because I spent a whole year where I read 50 different books on a bunch of different shit and didn't do anything differently. Learned a bunch, but didn't actually change anything. So what's your guys' secret to implementation, or even if it's not like a secret or a tactic, or what would you say to kind of the people who are there wanting to get to where we are, which we would all say we all are all hunting somewhere else, but what do you guys do to actually implement some of this stuff that we get on all this content we're getting?
I got something I want to follow up on with that, and it's actually right in line with that. And it's like when people tell me like, oh, I read 60 books this year. I'm like, oh, you did? Like, that's awesome. Like, tell me what you learned from 60 books this year. And legitimately, they can tell me like 4 things that they learned from their 60 books. Now, I'm generalizing, obviously, but this is my point, right? People get so caught up in wanting to learn more and read this book and do this and do that. And I'm like, bro, you haven't mastered shit. Like the Bruce Lee quote, I don't fear a man who knows 1,000 kicks. I fear a man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times. And everybody gets so lost in wanting to, oh, I read 60 books this year. Oh, I read 70. Oh, I've been to 25 master. Like, who cares? Because it all comes down to mastery. And you're never really going to be great at anything unless you master the foundational skills. Why did John Wooden's basketball teams win an unprecedented 11 NCAA championships in a row? Not because some guy could score 40 points a game or he had 15 people that could dunk. It's because every player was in there every day mastering the basic skills, the foundational skills. Why is every single self-help book written about the same exact thing? Because the principles of success are the same, and it comes with sticking in your lane. So my big thing is like, I hate when people are like, oh, I'm learning. What it comes down to is self-awareness, right? And I started off in fitness. So I always compare it to fitness. There's 15 different ways to get in shape, and all 15 of them work. However, not all 15 of them work for you. So it's good to like look around and taste a little bit and kind of date. I call it dating a niche, right? Like date your niche for a little bit if you have to, but like you're never going to achieve mastery, and achieving mastery means achieving success. And you're never going to have that success or mastery unless you just pick the one thing that you're good at and go all in. Because you can do drop shipping, you can do coaching, consulting, Bitcoin, whatever, FBA, like agency work, and they all make money. But what makes money for you? So that's like my biggest thing. I'm like, dude, everybody's just got, entrepreneurs love to complicate things. We love to overcomplicate things. Like, what are you good at? And what do you enjoy doing? Like, literally, that's what entrepreneurship is, that simple. Like, don't worry about all the automation and all the, oh, I got to do my pitch. Like, there's certain times and places where you're going to be able to expand on your mastery. But first, what do you want to do? Like, what are you the best at? I was like, I suck at everything but talking. How can I make money doing that? And that question led to one more thing. That led to another thing. That led to another thing. But there's no like race to do it. Like, just take your time and relax. Don't overcomplicate things. This is fun. It's fun that I get to do what I'm best at and go out and help people. And that's like my biggest thing to entrepreneurs is don't overcomplicate it. Don't chase 50 rabbits. Chase that one big juicy rabbit that you know looks the tastiest and then go get it. You know what I mean?
For me, the game changer has been like an activity tracker. So for especially if you're in sales or the main priority right now is you're on the growth side, it's so easy to focus on, did I make 10K? Did the company do 50K? Did it do 100K this month? Yes or no? If no, it can become a very depressing thing, especially if you keep missing your goals over time. So what's been very helpful for me is what are my activity trackers and my activity goals per each step of the funnel or each step of the sales cycle, and then where am I at today in percentage to my quota for that number. So I'll give you an example. If you want to close 4 clients this month, in order to get 4 clients as an agency, you might need to speak with 8 to 12 people. In order to speak to 8 to 12 people, you might need 15 to 20 applications for them to actually work with you, because some people just don't show up to calls. And then from those people, in order to get that, you might need X number of leads. You might need X number of presentations. You might need to do number of posts. You might need to do cold emails or LinkedIn reach outs or whatever it is. And so there are different activities that you need to do. And what the whole time, if you're just focusing on, did I hit my revenue number, it can become really a negative environment where you're just like, I suck because I can't hit my end goal. But instead, with this model, what you can see is, okay, you know what? I'm doing incredible with my cold email. I'm doing an incredible job with my LinkedIn or my Facebook ads. A lot of people are applying, but man, I suck at sales. I just suck at converting the number of people who complete my application form to my close rate. Maybe that's where I should focus on. So getting more leads, getting more applications might not actually be the solution. And so you would never know that because all you're doing is focusing on the end goal. And that's been a really tough lesson for me. And it's taken me a lot of time, which is actually enjoying the process instead of focusing just on the outcome.
Luis, do you have something, or do you want me to jump in?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? I know that my internet
we can hear you.
a little unstable. Okay, cool. So we were talking, because you guys were kind of like in and out.
Hannah, do you have some thoughts on implementing and kind of, I know there's always stages, and that's kind of the great thing about seeing all of you guys on, is that there's a wide variety of just really stages that we help people through. But specifically when someone like you, Hannah, is looking to package, they figured out, I have this passion, I have this idea, but now I want to turn that into, I mean, for you, where's the stop? Where do you find that so many people like hit that wall in your work with people?
Totally. And it's back to information gathering zone. So Jen's asking, what do you listen to? Well, EO Fire, Entrepreneur on Fire, is a good podcast. I like the Goal Digger podcast, Amy Porterfield. My Bible is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Yet when we make real change and we execute and we earn money and we change other people's lives is when we start listening to ourselves. And again, that one-on-one accountability. So, who I listen to the most are my own coaches and mentors and, my journal. And so I can't reiterate how important it is to get that accountability. And in those relationships, the key is changing your relationship with fear. Okay, because so many times we hear, like, who am I to go live 3 times a day? Like, no one wants to hear me. I'm not good enough to write a book. Like, I'm not going to sit and talk with other awesome entrepreneurs. Who am I? That is such a good sign. Those limiting beliefs mean that you are creeping out of your comfort zone, and you've got, so you're in your comfort zone feeling this, and you start to see like this border patrol trying to keep you safe, keep you small. And so now when I hear that, or my clients hear that, it's like, yes, we're on to something. You're about to bash through and like create a big change or a big wave in your life. And the important piece, it's not just about our own lives and like, cool, like I'm gonna like put myself out there and go live, or I'm gonna put myself out there and whatever those like superficial accomplishments or like task tracker things are, you need to remember that it is actually not about you. And it's about all the people that need to hear Marshall 3 times a day and need to see that their passions can earn them money so that they can unleash way bigger things than like you and your information gathering and your fear, right? So the more that we can be on purpose and help people see that I have a priceless offer. So Hector, you're asking, like, how do we package what we have? And it comes back to relationships. Go ask people, what can I support you with? Align your skills with what they need and show them that, like, I'm in service. I'm ready to help you bash through fear or help you create the Facebook ad that you want. Let's work together. So being a real person and being excited about fear and growth are really the foundations to getting shit done in this world and helping a ton of people.
I dig it, guys. We're almost running on the 40-minute mark, and I'm so grateful that you guys would sit here. So if you guys are watching, let us know who's here, and drop any questions that you guys want to get into. We have branding experts and high ticket experts and Facebook experts and agency experts and dudes who wear panda hats on live videos. So like, you guys have tons of resources here at your disposal. So go ahead and ask away. We're going to be on for maybe a few more minutes about this, but let's.
Oh, there's the hat. We got a new hat in the building.
Everybody needs a hat.
Cool the hat on, bro.
Yeah, where's my hat? The only one. The one time I don't have a hat.
I got a question for you guys. What do you guys think is the number one characteristic for entrepreneurs to develop in 2018 as it applies to being successful? That's a question I get all the time. Nobody? Not at once?
I'll
Go ahead, Hannah.
I'll just reiterate, like, feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, get comfortable with feeling a little uncomfortable, because that's where, the magic is and the impact lies.
That's the number one characteristic.
Yeah, it's not like about being fearless, because you still need to have fear, but it's like being willing to just like get excited about fear. Yeah,
I like it.
It depends on like, where you are in your journey and what is it that you're doing in your business at this point. But for me, what's been a game changer has really been around surrounding myself with people who are just like, they have that something where I don't know exactly what it is that's helping them be successful. And as soon as you get around them, especially if it's in person, especially if it's at conferences or over the phone, even on stuff like this, there's so much that they don't say verbally, but they're able to communicate while they're explaining something. So for example, a lot of the time when people are talking about Facebook ads or growing their business, there's a lot of things people don't say when they're communicating about that growth. And what I've noticed is people who are 1 or 2 or 5 steps ahead of me, or 10 years, 30 years my senior, what they do and what their belief systems are so different than mine, that is the questions asking. A lot of the times the question I ask, but kind of deflect that question and ask me the question or respond to the question I should have asked instead. And so that's a big difference that I've seen in terms of seriously considering and investing your time with the right people, and it's still undervalued.
It looks like Lewis is frozen a little bit. For me, I think that, it's always going to come back to being purpose-driven. I talk about that till the cows come home, because I built a business and made a lot of money and spent it all as well looking for happiness. And it's like, I felt like I got to the end of the rainbow and I was looking for the pot of gold, and I found the pot of gold and I wasn't even happy afterwards. So I realized that the pot of gold is not really what you're chasing. And if you can engineer your life to where the journey becomes something that you become so excited about. I had a to-do list. I'm almost done, but I had a to-do list of a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done today. And I was so excited when I looked at it. Like, I was like, that literally is what I get to do. It got me so excited when looking back a year ago, 2 years ago, even I would have just been in a totally different position. So I think that being purpose driven and engineering your life to where you're excited to work and to where it doesn't feel like work is probably the biggest skill for any entrepreneur.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay now? Am I good?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I believe in, people that have like hunger. They're hungry for something. If they have enough hunger, like, they're going to be able to pursue anything, whatever goals they set for themselves, whatever they're seeking at the moment, right? And if they don't get to achieve something, or if they feel let down, that's just an indicator that something is just not that's important for them. and then they just need to readjust their sales and go in a different direction, because once everybody finds like what they're truly hungry about, it doesn't matter what field, what discipline you're in, like they're just gonna want more and more and keep persevering, through everything. And I think that just comes with, trying different things out. And once you find that thing, and like there's literally no stopping you, for people that you see every now and then, that they're struggling with something, like, hey, maybe you just haven't tried, certain things that light you up. And so once they find that thing, it's like it's game over. You can identify like people in a bunch of whether that be dancers, whether that be musicians, entrepreneurs. If we're able to communicate with the language of passion, right? You can tell when somebody's passionate about something, and everybody's at the same energy, the same high level of conversations, and it's very inspiring. And you don't need to be in the same career path to be able to communicate at that and resonate at that level. So for me, I would say definitely being hungry towards something and finding that thing that you're really, really hungry and passionate about. And that's where I've seen the most success in.
Sure.
I love it. We have Michael has a question down there. And if you guys have any questions, throw those down there. We're going to wrap this puppy up in a few minutes here. So I want to get your guys' opinion on this. But Michael says, what's the biggest tip for networking with next level people? We've all managed to network with each other and created an awesome team, like the Power Rangers. So how can others build a powerful network such as this, as opposed to just a regular network? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like what is it you actually want in that situation? Because, for example, if I'm building my agency, there's guys doing, a lot more than I am. And if the people that I actually want to surround myself with are better agency owners, first of all, where are they, online or in person? And if you're almost any market right now, depending on what you're doing, there's a Facebook group on it. And inside of that Facebook group, somehow they found that group, whether it's through advertising, through organic, through, suggested groups. Somehow, as soon as you get in there, you see what other people are talking about. And ideally, you want to get to a place where you have people that who know what you don't know. But ideally, when you're in those groups, you find out things that you didn't know. And that's where some of the magic happens, because you jump on those calls with them and you're like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you please just school me? And so when it comes to those relationships, one of the ways that I've been able to do that is I share what cool things that I'm doing, things that I'm working on, interviewing other people, campaigns, all of that. So when someone comes and creeps me the same way I go and creep them, there's something that they can act, there's substance there. So they know I'm not just, faking things, or I'm legitimate, that, I'm trying and I'm hustling and I'm doing cool stuff. And so when they come, they see that, I've checked some of the boxes of someone that they would want to be around. So first of all, like, where are people that you want to be around? Do you actually know who you want to be around? And second, like, once they come and find you, how is it that, that you present yourself right now? And is that some way that that same person that you would want to connect with? And if it isn't, those are two very simple places to start.
Gold. What else?
I would say, people that are like, especially at the moment, right? We are at a stage in our life where it's the easiest to network and connect with people, especially here online. Whenever people ask me, like, how have I been able to connect with a bunch of these experts? One, showing up to these live streams, right? Because you guys can ask any and all questions that you may not have access to asking. We're going to be here for an hour, right? Some people would charge so much money to get an hour of their time. And now for those that are showing up here, you guys can ask any questions, get that answered. And just that one idea that one of us may have shared completely transforms the trajectory of your life. So I would say showing up to these type of live streams.
Yeah, I don't know if we lost Luis, but yeah, I'll kind of follow up on what he said. And go ahead, Luis. You done yet? Sorry, brother.
Sorry about that, man. Just the internet is a little. But yeah, as I was saying, like show up to that. Be part of groups. and start engaging in those groups and asking those questions, because now you get to build a relationship with the group owner and the friends of the group owner. Like if people are, Hector was kind enough to invite all of us here. You may not have met me previously, but now post this, you can shoot me a message, say, hey, Louis, I really enjoyed what you had to say, and we connect, and you tell me, you told me that you've tuned in, you've given me some of your time to like listen to me and hear what I have to say. And if that had any type of impact in your life, I'd be so glad to just keep sharing and pointing you in the right direction, because you give me your time, you give me your most valuable resource that you can't get back. Yeah, that's what I would advise, man. Take it over, Marshall.
So that was excellent. That's super spot on. And I'll just share some of the things that have worked for me over the last year. And I know we're not talking about I know that we're talking about like connecting with people like us right now. But what I want to talk about is like how I've been able to connect with like high level entrepreneurs. Like why do I have like Caleb Maddox's phone number in my phone, or like Lewis Howes, or like how I've met and connected with Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and all these big names that people are like, they see me all the time. They're like, bro, how do you make those relationships, right? And you guys have got to understand that every entrepreneur like that, like a Ty Lopez that's at the top, they have a purpose, that they're on a mission, and their mission is important. So their mission is to reach more people and to be able to spread their word. So if you guys want to know how can you connect with high level influencers and really give them value, it's by sharing the stuff they do. It's what everybody on this live video said. Like, you want to know why I've made those high level connections? Like, it's because I show up to all their lives when they're on, and I engage with them, and I like them, and I share their stuff. Every influencer wants more influence. That's the way it starts. Then when these people are hosting live events, it's about going to those events. It's about connecting with them the night before. Hit them up on Twitter. Hey, so excited. It's about it's just like anything else. If you see somebody's face, like Hector said, he saw my face over and over and over again. It's the same thing I've done with Ty, with Gary, with Grant, with Russell Brunson, Steve Cook. I mean, Cole Hatter. I could go on and on and on of the list of people I've connected with, and how I've been able to level up my network and go from nothing to being able to do these things with these high level people, is because it's just engaging with them. It's a law of reciprocity. I'll do something nice for you, and they're probably most likely going to want to come back over the top and do something nice for you guys. So that's how it starts. When you guys get to these live events and you guys are able to connect with them, if you can't connect with the high level influencer, start connecting with their team. Ask their team, like ask the guy holding the camera, ask the girl who's running and getting bottles of water, like, hey, my name is Marshall Live. What do you guys need? You guys need help at this event? Can I hold the door? Can I give out tickets? Like, give first. Give, and you guys, I swear to God, you'll earn it all back as long as you show up. Whether it's for an influencer like me or anybody on here or somebody at that next level, it's just about connecting. It's really that simple. At first, they might not know who you are, but if you build up and you do it in the hall that said to do, and you're showing up and you're doing the actions every day and you're leading your life by example, and then you go and engage with these high level people, when they come back and they look at you, they're going to judge you on what you've accomplished, like your body of work. When they come back and see my profile and they see that I'm live every day and that I'm giving value and that I give first, I'm selfless, they're going to want to work with me. So that's been like my biggest networking act to date. Like, just give back, give. It's like Gary Vee says, if you give with expectation, you're going to lose 100% of the time. So you've really got to learn how to give without expectation, to be selfless, to be that person that holds the space, that generates that enthusiasm and that energy. And all the good things you want in life will come. I know it sounds super woo-woo, but it's literally that simple.
This is huge, and we're gonna get some answers on this, but I think Steven's question is just a powerful note to leave it on. He said, just so I can vent to y'all, since we've been where he has. I know I have, but he just graduated, has around $100 in the bank, and lost his job, but he just got his first trial for his agency. And he leaves it with, seems hard, yet I'm trying my everything. So to someone in that position, what is your message? Because Lord knows I've been in places and spots like that, where it's like, fucking A, you better figure it out, or, you just better figure it out, right? So what were your guys's, I don't know, I think you guys get it. I'm going to throw it out to you guys. And what would you say to someone like that?
For me, I got lazy. So this is a trap, I think, that's very common, which is as soon as you hit any kind of income goal, like, you start changing for the better or the worse, or you become like more of who you are usually. So what happened for me was, as soon as I hit an income goal, I got super complacent because I didn't actually have my why. I didn't have like the next thing. and I didn't have like the next goal. So for about a year or so, I didn't even realize, I thought I was on, hustling and doing things and making things happen. But really, honestly, I was just on autopilot mode. And so for me, what the main thing is how creating urgency in my life. Because in a lot of situations, if you get to a point and you get to that place where everything is just coasting, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, the way I'm wired is I need that next level thing and that ambition that does drive me. If I don't feel that, it actually becomes a huge action, and it becomes a huge crutch, and that has a very negative impacts on my life. So every time I've been in that situation where I've actually had my back against the wall, like, thank God for those, because those have helped me level up. And if it wasn't for those, I wouldn't have the team I have now, I wouldn't have the type of clients I have now, the business I have now, because I got into that position, my actions led me there. And then now I'm, it's creating that environment for me to go to that next place. So if you're in that position, this is priceless, depending on your perspective on how you're looking at it.
Totally agree. You know what, actually, I left one job and I took another job to work with a startup, and then I was fired, and then I moved out. So there's a piece of my story we left out, and that I had no other option, but I was going to make it work. And I knew that people were waiting for me somewhere out in the world. I knew I needed to show up for people. And so, yeah, it's hard to hear when you're in that position, but if you can adopt a mindset of this is exactly what I need. There's only up from here. I have so much space in my bank account to receive more. All my energy is going to be focused on finding people that need me and will pay me. So it's really, as soon as you can adopt the mindset of yes, this is exactly what I need, and it's all up in abundance from here, that's your only option. So you're going to be there soon.
Yeah, I'll jump in, or unless somebody's got something. I'll just jump in.
You have more to say, Marshall? Are you kidding?
This is the one thing though. Real though, Steven, do you know how many times I've been here in my life where I've been fucking broke and I need some money? And this is, again, goes into entrepreneurs just overcomplicating shit. Entrepreneurship is simply about finding a hole in the market and then providing value. So in an essence of Gary Vee, and not to steal all of his shit, but dude, you guys stop being so romantic about how you make money. This is the thing, Steve, I think it comes down to how quickly do you need money. If you only have $100, then my suggestion is go make some fucking money, arbitrage, bro. Go out to the alleys in your thing. I just saw a table and chairs out back in the alley right behind my condo or whatever today, or a couple days ago. I literally could have put it on Craigslist and sat in the chair and been come get this for $50 and waited. So if you need money as an entrepreneur, arbitrage, man. What do you have in your house that you can sell right now? What do you have that you can make $100 off, that you can then go to a flea market, buy something new and flip it, right? That, it's that easy. It's arbitrage. So if you need money right now, that's the quickest way to get it. But in the interim, man, I see all these people starting SMMAs and stuff because it's the new hot trend. And I'm not dissing on any of that. But so many people are just after the money. They go, ooh, I can make a bunch of money with social media marketing. I'm going to start an agency, and then they're going broke. And I'm you guys, there's so many different ways to make money that you don't have to do it like that. So that's my suggestion, Stephen. Figure out how quickly you need to get out of your hole. And if it's something that's you can't do like that, man, go find something to sell. Go sell something. Make some money. Shit.
Huge. Lewis, you want to bring us home? You got anything?
Yeah, man. So, Steven, I was there not too long ago. It's been, I remember Hector, he made a post the other day. He was how many of you guys knew that you'd be making money online, or when, or what date? And for me, it was less than a year ago. To be exact, it was 7 months ago. And I had no money to my name. And what I want to tell you right now is that I'm happy for you. And the reason why I'm happy for you, it's because you can't go any lower than that. You can only go up from here. And so anytime I hear all those stories, I get excited for people because I know the feeling of what it feels like to be down there. And when you feel like that, you can there's only room to feel really, really good. And so, just follow, all the information is out there. All the strategies are out there. But it all starts with the state that you're in at your core. You can't be in a negative state and do something, because literally everything's there. You know, I think we talked about, like, there's 1,000 gyms out there. The reason why people aren't losing weight, it's because of the state that they feel in. So if you practice being in a positive state right now, you're going to have clarity in your mind. You're going to be patient, and you're going to go out there and start executing and taking action. But before that, you know, like, it all really starts within yourself. And I've been sharing this quote for the past few days. Like, if you want to work for yourself, you have to begin working on yourself, because without that, you cannot move forward, and you can't achieve things. And remember, just, you know, stay hungry. So that's all I gotta say, man.
Huge guys. This was amazing. I'm sitting here just soaking up so much knowledge. Hopefully, I know those of you guys who were watching this got value out of it. And if you guys are still here, please just let us know who's still watching, because we selfishly, as people who create content, we all want to know is if there's anybody out there actually listening. And so when you just drop a comment and say hi, that, like, for us means so much. So just saying hi will go a long way. And then I put all of them in the description. So I would encourage you guys, they're all active on Facebook. I think they all have friend spots left. So go add them, go get connected with them. And we're going to be doing this a lot. So if you guys think that there is someone worth bringing back on the next Masterstream, tag them below. We're going to see if we can get a little rivalry going. But anyways, thank you guys for doing this, and we'll see y'all on the next one.